When people stand at a counter holding a lottery ticket in their hands, they often believe they are testing fate. But in truth, what they are testing is not the universe, it is themselves. Luck is unpredictable, fragile, and impossible to control. Your intention, however, is within your grasp. Before you press your pen to the paper or exchange your money for a chance at sudden wealth, you must stop and observe the reason you are standing there in the first place. The 4 words you speak in that moment are not magic. They are a key, unlocking the truth about why you are making this choice. Sure, if your intention is rooted in lack, in desperation, in the feeling that life owes you something, you must understand that even if you win, the emptiness will remain. Money can buy temporary comfort, but it cannot fill a void built from years of unexamined dissatisfaction. If your intention is simply to escape, the victory will not be liberation, it will be a heavier chain. Wealth earned without self-awareness becomes an amplifier for the very patterns that have kept you feeling trapped. But if your intention is pure, rooted in joy, in curiosity, in a playful sense of possibility, then the outcome does not control your inner state. You have already won because you are acting from a place of choice, not from a place of need. These 4 words act as a light shining into your mind, revealing whether the seed you are planting is one of hope or one of fear. The lottery ticket in your hand is not the test. The test is whether you can tell yourself the truth about why you are buying. If you are seeking quick relief from financial stress, the temptation will whisper that this is your fastest escape. But if you pause, speak those 4 words, and listen carefully to the silence that follows, you may discover that the ticket you are about to buy is not a solution. It is a distraction. The deeper work that you have been avoiding, the discipline that you have yet to cultivate, the opportunities that you could create with patience, these are worth infinitely more than any jackpot. To test your intention is to look beyond the surface desire. It is to ask, am I moving towards something I want? Or am I simply running from something I fear? The lottery offers you a chance at numbers. Intention offers you a chance at clarity. And clarity is worth more than gold. Because once you see your own motives clearly, you are no longer controlled by them. The power of those 4 words lies in their ability to reveal whether you are standing in that line out of conscious choice or unconscious craving. And when you can see your intention clearly, you will realize that winning or losing is not determined at the drawing. It is determined in the moment you decide why you are playing it. Almost people believe that the critical moment in gambling comes when the winning numbers are drawn. They think the tension is in the reveal. But the true moment of decision comes much earlier, before your hand reaches for the pen, before the cashier tears the ticket from the roll, before you even step into the store. That moment is not about the game at all. It is about whether you are willing to face yourself before you face the wheel of chance. Turning the mirror means pausing to see the real state of your life before you place your hope in a draw. It means asking yourself what you truly want, not just what you think will fix everything. The lottery promises a shortcut, instant wealth, instant transformation, instant escape. But you must ask yourself, if you had this shortcut, would you be ready to take responsibility for what comes next? The 4 words you speak before you play are like holding up that mirror. They force you to stop looking outward at the spinning wheel of possibility and instead look inward at the truths you may be avoiding. You may discover that the desire for a ticket is really the desire for relief. You may see that the thrill of the game is simply a distraction from the dull ache of dissatisfaction in other parts of your life. The mirror does not lie. It reflects the truth whether you want to see it or not. Many people believe money is the ultimate solution, but wealth without self-knowledge is like giving a ship's wheel to someone who doesn't know where they are sailing. They will spin it endlessly, chasing excitement until they end up in waters far more dangerous than the ones they left behind. By turning the mirror before you turn the wheel, you ensure that your hands are steady, your mind is clear, and your direction is chosen, not guessed. Imagine someone winning millions overnight. The news cameras capture their smile, the oversized check, the champagne bottle opening. But the cameras do not show the sleepless nights that follow, the calls from distant relatives demanding help, the slow unraveling of friendships when envy creeps in. Without inner clarity, sudden fortune magnifies confusion. Without purpose, abundance becomes chaos. The 4 words are not about stopping you from playing the lottery. They are about ensuring that when you do, you are playing from alignment, not from avoidance. They are about making sure the wheel you turn is connected to a destination you've chosen rather than letting it spin you into a storm. Turning the mirror requires courage. It means admitting when you are hoping for a miracle instead of building a foundation. It means facing the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the thrill of the lottery is not about the money. It is about feeling alive for a moment in an otherwise stagnant life. But here is the thing, that feeling of aliveness does not have to come from chance. It can be created through discipline, through growth, through decisions made with intention. When you speak the 4 words before playing, you are saying, I see myself clearly, I am aware of my reasons. I am not handing over my power to the game. You hold the mirror in one hand, and only if you like what you see do you place the other hand on the wheel, because the wheel will spin regardless. But whether it takes you closer to the life you want or farther depends entirely on whether you looked in the mirror first. There is a truth about sudden wealth that very few people are willing to speak out loud. Everyone dreams of the winning ticket, the bank account swelling overnight, the freedom to buy and do whatever they want. But what they fail to see is that without the wisdom to manage it, wealth does not open the gates of freedom, it locks them tighter. Without preparation, abundance becomes a burden. Without clarity, it becomes a cage. Consider the lives of those who have won large fortunes suddenly through lotteries, inheritances, or chance investments. Many imagine their stories are fairy tales. But behind the headlines, countless winners find themselves in a whirlwind they never learned to navigate. Friends they never knew they had suddenly appear with requests. Family members begin to measure their worth by what they are given. Strangers demand, manipulate, and envy. So on. Within a few years, many have less than they started with. Because while they gained money, they did not gain the wisdom to protect it. Wisdom is the ability to see beyond the immediate thrill. It is the skill of knowing what to say yes to and what to refuse. It is understanding that the value of wealth is not in what it can buy, but in what it allows you to build. Without this understanding, you can win the largest prize in the world and still live in fear, fear of losing it, fear of being used, fear of making the wrong move. That is why sudden fortune without personal growth feels less like a victory and more like being trapped inside golden walls. The 4 words you speak before buying a lottery ticket are your shield against that trap. They remind you that you are not just chasing numbers. You are stepping into a potential reality that will demand more of you than you have ever given before. They force you to ask, am I prepared for the weight of what I'm seeking? Am I ready to manage abundance with the same discipline I use to manage scarcity? Because if your habits in scarcity are careless, those same habits will multiply in abundance. When you do not have much, a bad decision might cost you a little. And when you have a fortune, a bad decision can cost you everything. That is the paradox. More money does not mean fewer problems. It means the same problems now have more power to damage your life. Without wisdom, you become a prisoner of your own success. Wisdom does not come from the lottery. It is not printed on the back of the ticket. It is earned through discipline, patience, learning, and self-control. It comes from knowing how to create wealth in more than one way, so that even if you lose one stream, you are not left with nothing. It comes from developing the courage to say no when every voice around you is asking for yes. And most importantly, it comes from understanding that wealth is not just a number, it is an amplifier of who you already are. If you are generous now, wealth will magnify that generosity. If you are careless now, wealth will magnify that carelessness. If you are fearful now, wealth will magnify that fear. That is why the 4 words are so powerful. They create a moment for you to check not just your readiness to win, but your readiness to carry what winning will bring. You may think that the prison of sudden fortune only happens to others. You may believe that you would handle it better, but wisdom is not proven by the confidence of what you think you would do. It is proven by the discipline of what you are already doing. The lottery ticket is a dream, but wisdom is the foundation that keeps dreams from collapsing into nightmares. Without it, even the brightest prize will cast a shadow, and inside that shadow is where the prison of wealth waits for those who enter unprepared, every action you take is a form of investment. It may not always involve money, but it always involves energy. Your time, your focus, your emotions, your belief. Most people do not realize that the energy they spend each day is quietly shaping the life they will live tomorrow. The decision to buy a lottery ticket is no different. You may think you are spending only a few coins, but in reality, you are spending far more. You are spending attention, hope, and the emotional fuel that could have been used to create something lasting. The 4 words you speak before buying that ticket are a checkpoint, a conscious pause to ask, is this where I want my energy to go? Because energy, like money, has a return. If you invest it in habits that strengthen you, it grows into resilience, skill, and opportunity. If you invest it in fleeting thrills, it disappears and leaves nothing behind. The lottery offers the illusion of multiplying your resources instantly, but most of the time, the only thing it multiplies is the habit of chasing instead of creating. Think about the daily habits that shape your future. Every time you focus on something, you water it. Every time you give something your belief, you strengthen it. If your energy is constantly spent on what might happen instead of what you can make happen, you slowly teach yourself to wait for fortune instead of building it. You begin to live in a pattern of anticipation without action. This is how years pass while dreams remain in the same place. Energy is not infinite. Every day you wake up with a limited amount and you choose, consciously or unconsciously, where to spend it. Some people spend most of their energy worrying about what they lack. Others spend it pursuing quick fixes. A few choose to spend it on growth, learning, and disciplined action, and over time, those choices shape 2 very different futures. The first is a life built on hope without a plan, and the second is a life built on progress without the need for chance. When you speak the 4 words before buying a ticket, you remind yourself that your energy is valuable. You recognize that the same energy you are about to spend on the hope of winning could instead be spent on starting a side project, learning a new skill, or building connections with people who can help you grow. Each of those choices may feel slower than the instant win of a jackpot, but their returns are far more certain. Even if you win the lottery, you will still need energy to manage the money, make wise decisions, and protect it from being lost. That means the true asset is not the ticket. It is the energy you bring into your life each day. If you have not learned to use your energy well before you win, you will waste it after you win. If you have trained yourself to use it with discipline, then whether you win or not, your life will continue to expand. Your future is being built in every moment, not just in the moments when you win or lose. The energy you invest in growth creates a future where you do not need luck to thrive. The energy you spend chasing fleeting hope creates a future where luck feels like the only way out. That is why the 4 words matter. They are not just a question about whether to buy a ticket, but about whether this choice moves you toward the life you want or keeps you standing in the same place, waiting for numbers to change while your days slip quietly past.